Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Hello and welcome to I Am Mom Summit. Are you guys ready? Here we go. A 1, 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. Hi, my name is Brooke. I'm kind of a goober, but I love life. I've also been known to overanalyze. I'm highly sensitive and unorganized. Sometimes I get the blues and anxiety, and I struggle to feel like a good mommy. But I learned a couple tricks in the last little while, how to laugh more and how to smile. I'm talking about changing your state of mind, letting go of fear, feeling more relaxed. So if you feel what I'm saying, sister, today, well then you came to the right place. It's time to show up and set yourself free. Set yourself free and shake your booty. Woo! Woo! All right, good job. Let's hear it for my band. This is my tambourine player and #1 lady, London. And on the little shaker is Sonny. All right, time for bed.
You like it, huh?
Okay, go to bed.
No, it's time for night.
Yes. Okay, I'll be right back. Hi. Remember, I was going to put my kids to bed and I accidentally put myself to bed. Yeah, but that's okay. Today, we're going to talk about showing up, being yourself, and doing your best, okay? So, all right, now I got to do my best to get my kids to school on time. It's daylight savings. It's kind of killing me, but we can do it. We're going to show up. We're going to show up. We can show up. Let's do it. All right, so here we go. It's time to do this. It's time to show up. And the first line of business in showing up is making your bed. You got to have some sort of consistent morning situation. The other thing I do is I play music. I have a morning playlist called Here Comes the Sun. Really helps me get my groove on. Really helps me get in the spirit. That's called calisthenics. Just gotta get some exercise. Step 1 of showing up, done. So showing up, it's a decision and we make it. We decide we're not just gonna be sideliners. We're not gonna be just under the bed hiders. We're gonna come after you, life. We're coming after you. As I'm showing up, I'm gonna show up with love. That's my preset. And when my thoughts start going down the drain, when I start getting a case of the Mondays or I hit a bump in the road, my preset is love. And I'm going to show up with love. And I'm going to go after it with love. And if I'm having anxiety or I'm feeling discouraged, I'm going to respond with love. If someone is not being cool, or someone is not obeying or being difficult, I'm going to try to respond with love. That's my preset choice. So, have a preset. Okay, so here we are in my closet. It's not in the best shape, but it's fine. So the next step in showing up for the day is getting dressed. I would, if I could, wear this robe all day. I have in the past. But most days, if I want to go out there and really do my best and show up, which some days my best is wearing my robe. But if I want to really take it to the next level, I need to get dressed. And I like to pick my clothes to match the person I want to be and feel like that day. Uh-oh, what happened? What is it? Is that toothpaste?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Okay. Here's what I landed on. Here's what feels good to me today. A fun sweater with some swans on it. And my Holy jeans. and some little booties. And one of my go-to style things, it feels like me, is earrings. I like a big earring. That's just me. Doesn't have to be you. What do you like? I'm not talking about spending a whole day in hair and makeup. Ain't nobody got time for that. Hat, cool earrings, bun, done. So just a few more things about getting ready. Now, does what we wear or what we look like really matter that much in the scheme of things in the world? Well, no. I don't think it's the first priority. And maybe you're thinking, well, that's great, Brooke, but like I'm home all day. I'm like wiping butts and making lunch and taking care of people and watching Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. There is a place for taking care of ourselves. And I think a little bit, taking care of ourselves even a little bit, can go a long way in the way that we show up in our life. I think we will act a little bit different. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So, to each their own. You do you. I'm gonna get ready. Okay. Glad we could have this talk. Moving along. Okay, let's talk about the 3 P's that are getting in the way of helping us to show up, be ourselves, and do our best. First, let's talk about perfectionism. I know a lot about it. It's having to do everything according to a very specific expectation in your mind, generally, or someone else's mind. And it's a very all or nothing mentality. If I can't do it perfectly, I'm not gonna do it at all. And it can be a huge hindrance. And as well, it's the need to be perfect before we even get started, and that we need to appear perfect, okay? The next thing is procrastination. I listened to the Brooke Castillo Life Coach School podcast, highly recommend it. She says procrastination is for scared people. And all of these things, they're fear-based, right? We're worried about being perfect. We're worried about how we appear, right? And so if we can't do it right, we can't do it at all. And so we keep putting it off. We keep putting it off. We don't show up. We tell ourselves we're gonna do it later. We come up with excuses of why we're not doing something. Keep procrastinating, and it's because of the perfectionism, right? And then what's next? People pleasing, right? We wanna make people happy, right? That's what we tell ourselves. We wanna be easygoing, agreeable, but really, it's actually, I've found, kind of selfish, because while I think my intent is good to help people, to make people happy, really it's trying to make people happy with us so that we can feel good about us. And really it hinders us from showing up authentically. Basically, we're not always being truthful, and we do it to self-protect, so that people will like us, will validate us and approve of us and keep us around. I want you to know I'm recovering from these things regularly, because it's a process. Struggle is taking ourselves a little too seriously. Sometimes we just need to lighten up. We gotta move our body, we gotta shake our booty. I feel like one of the best releases for stress and anxiety and worry is just to move my body, to turn up the music, to dance, to vacuum, you know? And the other thing is worrying about what we look like, not looking cool, not looking cute, looking dorky, okay? Who cares? Look dorky. All right, here we go. Another all too familiar pitfall that I find myself in when it comes to showing up is I just don't feel like it. Just don't feel like it. I don't feel inspired. I don't know what to do. I'm in a rut. I can't tell you how much time I've wasted or How many things I haven't done merely because I didn't feel like it. And it's the reason that so many of us don't do anything or do the things that we want to do or things that we wish we would do. And it can be very easy to convince yourself that it's just not a good time. You know, I just don't really feel like it. But no, rise above that. If we want to show up, we have to exert some mental effort and some physical effort to actually get up, get going, and go and do it and honor ourselves and our commitment. One thing I like to do is to take a different route, switch things up. Get out of the routine and the mundane. I mean, routines are important, but it's also important to sometimes get out of the routine and keep it fresh so you can stay in. Sonny wants to get out. There they are. Look at them, look at them. Yeah, what does the horses say? The trick is to get out of your radius. Get out of your comfort zone. Take a different route. See a different scene. Stay inspired. So we covered the 3 P's, but there's 4 C's you really need to be wary of. The first is comparison. Comparing, it's the thief of joy. We know this. You know this, I know this. We still do it all the time. With social media, it is such a temptation all day, every day. If we're not careful, we're totally, it's like quicksand. Before we know it, we're just being sucked in and it's hard to get out. So watch the comparison, right? Do our best not to do that. Next would be competing. Now, when it comes to competing, great for sports, out on the field, you got to compete to win. But in our friendships, in our relationships with people, it's just, it contaminates it. What did I say else? Coveting. Wishing you had what someone else had. I admit to doing this recently. There's an artist. She's like living her best life, really big time. And I'm trying to release a record. I'm an independent artist. I'm a mom. I have a very tiny, teeny tiny budget. And there's certain things I'd like to do. And she is doing them. And yes, I was comparing myself to her and kind of feeling jealous and coveting what she had. And I ended up just sitting on the couch and crying for 2 hours. So that just did not, it didn't help me a lick. So it didn't serve me whatsoever. Those thoughts and the things I was making it mean, it didn't help me. And it prevented me from seeing my blessings, what I do have going on, which is a totally different set of circumstances in life than she does. And it kept me from focusing on my own craft and my own goals. And that's what's so bad and sneaky about these C's. They just really distract us from what's important. And the last one was being critical. Okay, so whether you're being critical of yourself or other people, or in other words, judging. Or it's when we're in a kind of a bad place, we project it, or an insecure place, or a place of scarcity, we can project it on other people. And then before we know it, we have been critical or judgmental, or we've done it to ourselves, which also feels terrible. So let's not do those 4 C's. Instead, I got some good replacements. Connection. Create. So connect, create, contribute, cultivate, compliment, boom, extra credit, 5 C's. Go after those ones. All right. I was on American Idol season 7 many moons ago. And it was crazy. I barely made it out alive. And I'm so glad I did it, but I'm glad I don't have to do it again. It was definitely life-changing, but there was a particular performance. It was our second Beatles week. I was just coming off of a good week. I had sang Let It Be behind the piano, and that's where I felt comfortable and in my zone. And the next week I was singing Here Comes the Sun, and I wanted to sing it behind the piano, but it wasn't gonna work out. I was told that it wasn't going to work out. So I was just up there with nothing but my body holding a microphone, and I didn't have a lot of experience with that. And so I was very nervous. And I wore this yellow dress because it was Here Comes the Sun, and yellow is my favorite color, and I loved the dress. Well, I did the performance. It felt a little awkward and weird. And anyway, here's how it went. And here is how I was critiqued.
I knew, Brooke, when you were choosing that song, that you'd be dressed in yellow and the lighting would be yellow. I thought the performance was terrible.
Okay.
From the horrible dancing to the absolute lack of conviction. It was wet.
Ouch. Yes, I tried my best to take it on stage, but was pretty emotional after the fact. It did feel pretty rough to be criticized like that on stage. And one of the things that Simon poked at was just the fact that I was just overall too yellow, right? And the next day I was told by someone that Howard Stern had said I looked like a giant banana on stage. And I don't know if that's true, I didn't hear it. But anyway, between the two nights' comments, I really took them to heart. And I just noticed my overall spirit kind of dimming. You know, there's kind of this notion that whatever Simon says is true, right? And so I kind of choose to believe that what he said was true. And I allowed it to really affect me in the way that I showed up in the world for a long time. And I just want to say that the truth is that opinions are only as powerful as we make them. And I know it's so much easier said than done. I promise I know it, but I think it is super valuable. And it's so important to teach our kids this as they're little and as they grow, and little by little people want to dim, you know, they'll say things and we'll be tempted to dim our light and strip ourselves of what makes us who we are. And I think we have to really resist. We really have to use our thoughts and watch what we make it mean, and watch those stories that we tell ourselves. And if there's a story that needs rewriting, rewrite it. My latest trick that I have been utilizing for my anxiety is writing. So doing some daily writing. 3 pages of free writing. No editing, no worrying about who's gonna read this. Don't worry about grammar, spelling, whatever, punctuation. This isn't necessarily for your posterity, but this is more about me managing my thoughts, being aware of my thoughts and what I'm thinking. Really, it's a chance to just get it all out. Your worries, the things you have to do that day, the mundane stuff, the stuff that's sitting in the back of your mind, the serious stuff, get it out on the page. I can't tell you how much this has been helping me and how I've seen a much more fluid day ahead of me. You can do it accompanied with some prayer. I think prayer is super powerful if you're a praying person. If you're not, then meditate. As well, I feel like we're living in a time where there is just never-ending resources of things to help us continually learn and grow and educate, whether it's podcasts or reading, whether you got, you know, some Brene Brown, some scriptures if you're into that. Jennifer Finlayson Fife, she's presenting here. I went to her workshop. I think just taking all the opportunities to continually learn and expand your mind and your spirit, I think also really goes a long way in showing up, and as well as combating anxiety. It's a new day. I was up real late last night putting this whole thing together, and I thought, where do I end this? There's obviously so much I have to say about this, and there's so much more. I didn't cover everything I can't in 15 minutes, and I've gone well over my time. So I guess I don't know exactly where to end other than to tell you that today I woke up and I did all the things that I told you to do in this video that I think are my best tips at showing up. And I don't really feel like showing up today. I'm in a different place than I was yesterday. And that's the funny thing about showing up and about being a human, is that it changes from day to day. It's on a sliding scale. It doesn't look the same today as it did yesterday, or it will tomorrow. Tired today. I'm feeling a little stretched and a little maxed out. As a mom, that is just so normal, and we just feel it so much. You know what I know is in the past I've had these days, and what helps me is to take a minute, take a breath, and go back to my preset of love and accept some sort of grace for the way that I am feeling and how I'm showing up today. And know that this is my best. So I'm sending you a hug. I'm sending you a high five. And I just want to say, great job. Oh my. Uh-oh. Who did that, Sonny? Uh-oh. Sonny do that, and Sonny should not do that, okay? Thankful we can. We're just gonna bleach him. Uh-oh, Danny. Uh-oh, Danny. Are you sick of me yet? I'm sick of me. I've been editing all this, and I can't. No. We're done. This is it. This is the end. If you're still here, wow. You're amazing. Thank you so much. It was a winding road. Talking about showing up and being yourself and doing your best. Yeah. It's a lot trickier than it seems. And it's not. I guess we make it harder than it is. But anyway, let's end with the way we started, with a sweet, short and sweet little song. I didn't write this one, but I did take a little bit of artistic license. And if you know it, please sing along. Okay, here we go. Let's do this. This is it. Ready, Sonny? Sing a song, sing out proud, sing out strong, sing of happy and sad. Sometimes you have to sing about both. Sing of good things, not bad, except for sometimes you gotta let that out too. With me now.